Hello and welcome, it's me, Mayoron44. Welcome back to another Cardfight Vanguard, Cardfight area, deck profile. Today's deck profile, we have the Link Joker. That is not really a Link Joker, but he's been reversed into a Link Joker. The Star-vader Blaster Joker. Yeah. It's hard to think of something. So yeah, with the release of BT17 version E, Blaster Joker's out, and it's quite a strong deck. I will say I do feel people are a little hard on this deck and think it's a little worse than it actually is, because it's like you want to lock everything right away and then try to keep it as locked as long as possible. That's basically how this deck works. So just in case you're confused with my build, remember that's the way the deck works. You try to lock everything as soon as possible, and then, you know, try to keep it as locked as long as possible, and then, yeah, so on and so forth. But yeah, it's a very powerful deck. The one thing is this deck is very, very strong against Legion decks because it retires the mates, and the Legions can't really do anything without their mates, so it's very strong against them than any other type of deck. Like if you use Break Right against this, this won't be as strong as it would against the Legion deck because the mates are everything for the skills. You kind of need them for that. Yeah. Alright, let's get into the deck profile, shall we? After this deck, I'll finally be moving on to Stride because, well, I wanted to do some deck profiles that I wanted to get done. I'll come back to do other Legion deck profiles, but I thought I'd move on to Stride now after this one because this is the last really important one I wanted to do. Anyways, our starter is Star-vader Bravefang. So Wingle, Star-vader Wingle, if you can't tell. And what he does is you put it into your soul when this attack hits a Vanguard during the battle that this unit boosted. If your Vanguard is in Legion, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose up to 2 of your opponent's lock cards, and those cards cannot be unlocked during your opponent's next end phase. So Omega Lock, very, very good. Very good for this deck. This deck does focus a lot on, as I said, keeping those units locked. So there are quite a few cards that try to keep them locked for Omega Locks, and yeah, it's just very good in that sense. Alright, so let's move on to our grade 3s. So we have 4 Star-vader Blaster Joker. His Legion mate is Companion Star-vader Photon, and his Legion skill is Counterblast 2, Soul Blast 2. Choose one of your rearguards with Star-vader in its card name and lock it. If this unit is in Legion, lock all of your opponent's rearguards. Choose one of your opponent's Legion mate and retire it. So yeah, and then its other skill is choose one card with the same name as a unit on your Vanguard circle from your hand and put it in your soul. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, this unit gets crit +1 until the end of the battle. So yeah, extra crit. Very, very strong card. I feel he's better earlier in the game because of the crit factor and the locking all of your opponent's rearguards and then trying to keep them locked with Omega Locks. That is why I feel he's a lot stronger in the earlier game. So you do want to kind of aim for him first to try to ride Legion with. I mean, if you don't, it's not a huge deal. He works later in the game, like when you're at 3 or 4 when you guys are both at like 3 or 4 damage. It's just, I feel he has more impact earlier on in the game, because once you get that 5 lock and Omega Locks, it really does affect your opponent, and you do build up quite a hand. So it really makes a big difference. But it's quite a heavy cost though. Soul Blast 2, Counterblast 2, and lock a card. There's a card that goes with it that you can just easily lock, and it's normally you want to lock a card behind the Vanguard anyways, behind the Legion. But the card that goes with it, it's like better than a boost, and then you lock it. So it's very nice in that sense. There's also oh, what was I saying? There's also the Fact of the Soul, which is like, you do have to Soul Blast 2, but with putting a card into the Soul with the extra crit, and then your starter going into the Soul, that's enough for another Legion skill from Blaster Joker to relock everything and retire retire their next Legion mate. And it really messes up your opponent's early game, early strategy, and just messes up your opponent's game because of that too. So it's a very strong deck against Legion decks, especially, as I said. It's Legion decks. But yeah, there's an efficient way to get enough soul without re-legioning, is what I'm saying. I mean, all you need is this one card from the same card on your Vanguard circle, so it can even be the Legion mate that you throw in there. I'd rather throw in Blaster Joker, sorry. No, this isn't a Shadow Paladin. But, yeah, if you have to throw in the grade 2, you do. Anyways, let's move on to our other grade 3. So 4 Star-vader, Garnet, Star Dragon. His Legion mate is the same, Companion Star-vader, Photon. And his Legion skills: when this unit performs Legion, choose a rearguard from your opponent's front row and back row and lock them. And then its other skill is when this unit attacks a Vanguard, it gets 2,000 power until the end of the battle. So people are a little hard on this card, I believe, as well. It's a free lock, and he really does work late game after you're done with Blaster Joker to keep units locked and, you know, keep pressuring with Omega locks. So after you've done Blaster Joker, your Counter Blaster basically done for, because there's another card you can Counter Blast 1 with. And you basically can't do anything else. Garnet Star here, you want to try to Legion with them once or twice late game after you've done that with Blaster Joker, and just lock their field again. Try to lock their field up again. Try to keep them locked again. Try to Omega lock them again, and it just helps keep up that pressure. It's a really good card because it's a free lock as well. It's just like Percival, and I do feel people are too hard on this card as well just because of that. There are other cards important to play in the deck, but again, there's not enough cycling. If you want to play 3, you can of this card, but there's not enough cycling. So that's something to keep in mind. That's another reason why I play 4. I might play 3 if there was enough cycling, but there's no cards to really, you know, drop and draw and stuff to cycle through the deck to make sure you're okay with grade 3s. So 4 and 4 is very solid. And yeah, as I said, this card helps out. It's not bad if you get this card early game and you have to use Blaster Joker later on. It's not as great, but it's still not a bad choice. And it still brings on early pressure of trying to Omega lock, and it still works well either way. As I said, I just feel this card works better after Blaster Joker, because it's like, okay, well, we had all that lock, all that retiring of the Legion mates. Now I'm going to try to continue controlling your field and finish you off. Yeah. And then we have 4 Companion Star-vader, Photon. The one thing about him, I know people keep asking, I know a lot of people have said, because it's different art, you can't use it as a Legion mate. You can. Don't believe them. They're just trying to fool you. But what he does is, when this unit is placed on rearguard circle, if you have a Vanguard with Star-vader in its card name and your opponent has a locked card, choose one of your opponent's rearguards and lock it. So it's a free lock, which is awesome, and it works well with both of. It works well with Blaster Joker being, you know, after the turn that you locked all 5. If there's a couple still locked because you Omega locked them, you could throw him down, lock another card down. You know, get a Triangle of Doom. The triangle, I don't remember what it's called. I'm just gonna call it the Triangle Lock. Triangle. I think that's what it's called, Triangle Lock. Yeah, I just said Triangle of Doom because, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh! Pyramid. I don't know. But yeah, a very solid card for both of them as well. Like, you could Triangle Lock with Blaster Joker and Blaster Joker if you got the Omega locks on 2 of the cards with your starter, and also with the other card later in the game, the Garnet Star. You know, he gets to retire. He gets to lock a front row and back row. So this card just completes the triangle. So just a very solid card. It should be around in every Link Joker deck, because this card's very, very good. And then we have 3 Flashgun Star-vader, a Seminian. When this unit attack hits a Vanguard, choose one of your opponent's locked cards, and that card cannot be unlocked during your opponent's next end phase. So he's one of the Omega lockers that I was talking about. He's very, very good because, as I said, you know, after you've locked their whole field with Blaster Joker, it's quite a big problem for them because they couldn't put on a lot of pressure and they didn't have much to work with and everything. So after you've done that, by having Omega lockers like him out, it keeps up the pressure of, you're not done here, I'm still going to control your field and control how this game goes. So he's very, very good for adding on that pressure, and your opponent will never let this card hit. But that's good as well because it'll really decrease their hand, and if it does hit because they can't guard or they choose not to guard because it's really not worth it, then, well, when won't it be worth it though? But you know what I mean. Yeah, just a very strong card to have in this deck for how the deck works. To keep the Omega lock on after the ultimate lock of the Joker. And then we have 3 Galatine, Silent Star-vader, Dilaton. Very Royal Paladin cards changing to Star-vader. I like it though. It's a very neat idea. What this card does is when this unit is placed on rearguard circle, if your Vanguard is in Legion and the number of locked cards your opponent has is 2 or more, search your deck for up to 1 card named Star-vader, Blaster Joker, reveal it to opponent, put it in your hand and shuffle your deck. So this card's pretty good early on when you get early locks. With like when you get the first lock with Blaster Joker, after your starter keeps 2 of the cards locked, basically what you do is you call him the next turn, get the Blaster Joker, and then, you know, put him into the soul, so then the turn after you can relock everything and retire their Legion mate, because they probably won't be able to do Legion right away. So you can really keep the pressure on with this. Some people like to play 2 of these cards. But the thing is, the reason I play 3 is it's very, very, very important to get the 2 Blaster Joker locks in this deck, because that's the main card and that's the main thing you want to focus on, and that's the thing you just need right away. So I play 3 to make it consistent on getting the Blaster Joker. If you have to use the grade 2 mate, that's fine, but with having 3 in the deck, it basically guarantees that you'll be able to get off both, and you'll be able to just keep on the constant Omega lock pressure and just everything, and do what you want to do. So yeah, and then we also have 2 Star-vader Colony Maker. So, you know, counterblast 1. If your opponent has locked card, you get to call grade 1 or less from your deck. Very good for setup. You don't have a lot of plussing in this deck, so it's very nice to have. Just for that, because this is, I think this is a little more of an aggressive deck in a way, but also Omega lock aggressive. So it's like it has aggression, but it has Omega lock, so it has both. But it's a nice card. If I only play 2 because you're only going to get its skill off once, so I wouldn't recommend any more than that. If you don't like the 3 of this guy, the Galatine Dilaton, you could probably play 4 of the Flashgun Star-vader, because having 4 isn't a bad thing. It just means more Omega lock pressure. I play 3 because I need the other card more. If I were to play 2 of the Galatine, I'd play 4 of this guy. So yeah, moving on to grade 1s, we have 4 Perfect Guards. And then we have 4 Demonic Claw Star-vader Lanthanum. So, you know, you gain +2 whenever something gets locked. It's not... If something stays locked because of an Omega lock, he doesn't gain +2 for that turn. So don't make that mistake. But the turn you do the locks with Blaster Joker, the 2 turns that you do that, he gains 10k, and it's really scary on a rear guard column, especially if Mr. Omega Lock grade 2 is in front of him, because that means you're almost guaranteed an Omega lock. unless they decide to throw Perfect Guard down, because they really don't want you to Omega Lock it. So it's very, very scary, but he makes some scary columns. Yeah, I play 4 of these guys. I do think 4 is a little bit much. There's another card you can run 3 of if you'd like to, but I don't feel 3 of the other card is needed. Or 4 of any of the other cards is needed either. So that's why I do play 4 of this, because, yeah, it's very, very good. And you know what? Having 4 of this is very scary as well for your opponent when the Blaster Joker turns come. Anyways, we have 3 Star-vader Bolt Link, so exactly the same as Flashgun Star-vader. Just a grade 1 when it boosts a unit that hits, you get to Omega Lock something. And it's very, very good in that regard to keep your opponent Omega Locked. I only play 3 because 4 is much. As I said, if you want more, take away one of the Galatine guys and play 4 of the grade 2 Omega Locker, because this version, your grade 1s are better for the Lanthanum, whereas your grade 2s are better for the Omega Locker. Yeah. So, but I still have a grade 1 version of this because it's very, very strong, and you have to keep up the constant Omega Lock pressure as much as possible. So 3 is a solid number for this. And then lastly, but not least, Marin. Yeah, it looks like Marin. It's the Marin version. So we found 4 already. I wonder what others there are. So what this card does is it's Muscles Mizunic Star-vader Mayoron. Rest this unit. If your Vanguard is in Legion, choose a unit named Star-vader Blaster Joker in your Vanguard circle, and it gets 10,000 power till the end of the turn. So your Vanguard can be swinging for 31k instead of 28k by resting this and then locking it with Blaster Jokers. You know, Legion skill. Either way, it being behind your Vanguard, it's better to just rest it and your Vanguard comes for 31k. But the point is, it's a free lock because you're resting it anyway, so you rest it first and then you lock it, and you don't have to worry about anything, you know, you don't have to worry about any problem of, oh no, I have to lock something behind the rear guard and the rear guard might not be able to hit. No, you don't have to worry about that at all. You always lock behind the Vanguard so everything can hit. And this card guarantees that that lock isn't a problem. It just makes it better because it doesn't matter if you lock it or not. When you just rest this card and the Blaster Joker gains 10, and it's better than boost. So either way, works really well. But very strong card. Some people play 3 of this. I don't like it because you really only need 1 behind the Vanguard and that's it. That's why I play 2. If you want to play 3, take out the Lanthanum like I said. Make it 3 Lanthanum and then make it 3 of this. But yeah, that's all I can recommend. But I think the lineup works very, very, very efficiently. And then we have 8 crits, so 4 Star-vader Meteor Liger and 4 Star-vader No Chameleon. 4 draws, so 4 Star-vader Nebula Captor and 4 heal. 4 Recollection Star-vader Tellurium. Yeah, so standard trigger lineup, 8 crit, 4 draw, 4 heal. But a very strong deck, especially against Legion, as I said. So, yeah. I think it is a little hated, but it's good against Legion decks, and if you play a Legion deck, be afraid. Be very afraid of this. Alright, so hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. Deck list will be in the description below, as always. Remember to like, comment, go ahead and subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. And we'll see you guys next time. If you guys want to see more videos from me, on the left, there are Let's Play videos, so you can go and check those out. And if you guys aren't up for that, on the right, there are Cardfight Vanguard videos, so you can go and check that out. And if you're still not up for those, I have Super Smash Bros., Pokemon, and a Versus series on my channel, so you can go to my channel and check that out. Also, down below is my review channel, where I do reviews, countdowns, game chats, which is like a podcast, and more. And don't forget to check out my Twitter, Facebook, and Skype, all listed at the top there. That is all. Hope you guys enjoy.